All right, so hello Danielle. Thank you for coming back again. Um, to start off this session, I would just want to ask you how you feeling right now at this very moment in time.
I feel really excited, really stress free. I finished everything that was due for the week. Got to program some classes this week, and I get to go home tomorrow, see my family and my dog and all my high school friends. So I'm pretty excited to head back.
Okay, it sounds like you're really excited. Just head back and see all your family, get ready for this Thanksgiving break and all that.
It's always nice to love Iowa City, but it's always nice to be able to go home to what you know.
There's nothing like going home to your family and friends.
Oh yeah.
Um, all right, so is there anything good that's happened to you within these past couple weeks? What's the best thing that's happened?
I had a really good meeting with my supervisor for my internship. I've been putting a lot of hard work and a lot of time and effort into it, and I was able to go in and talk to her, and we're starting an incentive program, and I'm going to be teaching my own TRX class, which is what I've been shadowing next semester, and I was offered a practicum. I intern at the rec right now, and I was offered a practicum there too. So it's nice to have worked hard and then to be able to see that it's paying off, and I get to kind of move up in my field.
Well, there's nothing like seeing your hard work finally pay off.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
that you'd be really good at that internship.
Well, thank you. I try.
All right. Well, so as you know from our previous time together, we came up with some weekly goals. So, which one of these would you like to go over first?
um, how about program TRX class?
Program TRX. Okay. Now, what would you say went well with this goal?
Well, I did it. So that's a start.
Okay. Good start.
I think I spent time being able to research the program before, so I felt confident about the workout that I was about to have my participants do. And the program, nothing is flawless, but it went really well. It was nice to see that everyone was sweating just as much and working just as hard as they did under our lead supervisor. It was also just kind of nice after our program. I had two different participants come up to me and say, because I'm preparing for my certificate, my personal training certificate in December, they said, if you ever want to practice with someone or have like a practice client, like, I'll give you my personal contact information. Let me know, which is always a good thing because that means that they liked me enough and like the workout I gave them enough to trust me to put them through another one. So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. It really sounds like you felt good about making the workout as hard as it was.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience, and it's a good confidence booster that I should just keep working at what I'm doing.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Well, what would you say was the best experience? If you had to title something the best part of achieving this goal, what would you say it would be?
I think the best part. Oh, that's a tough question. I think the best part would probably be when those clients came up to me after. Just because when you put anything forward, you're always going to be your hardest critic, and there's always going to be something that you wish went differently or happened differently. But the fact that, again, they were willing to say, like, let's program another workout, like practice on me, all this stuff means because you are doing physical activity that they trust me enough not to injure them, but also
Right.
means that they liked my training style enough to want to work with me further. So that was a little pat on the back that I was doing something right.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. It always feels good to have those people come back to you and give you that positive feedback because it's good to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Um. So what would you say that you learned from that experience?
I think time and time again I've been reassured of this, and this is just another reinforcement. But you can plan something down to a T, and you can have it everything smooth sailing, but there'll always be a bump in the road. Maybe for me, it was going from the TRX, which is one piece of equipment, to the Rip Trainer, is another piece of equipment. There is some lag time in between, or there are some people who struggle with the TRX more, and some people who can do it in the time that we want them to. So I think I just learned that being able to be flexible and adaptable is really important, especially when you're in the fitness industry, but further when you're planning anything. Because a strong quality is being able to face that bump in the road or face adversity and be able to overcome it, not just let it become something big. Because as far as everyone else knew, it went just as I wanted it to.
Right. Well, I feel like that's one of your strong points, adjusting on the run when things don't go according to plan. Like you said, being flexible and being able to make those necessary changes.
I hope so.
Okay, so if you had to grade yourself on the success rate of this goal, from 0 to 100% being nailed it, no question about it, 0% being not even close, what would you grade yourself?
My mom always told me to give yourself an A. So I'm going to give myself an 85 to a 90. I think the program itself I did a lot of research on the different types of workouts that I could put together. So I feel like that was a strong set overall. Like I said before, I feel like the way I handled some of those speed bumps in the road went well. I was able to work with the other interns that were part of the class to be able to set them up to do well, teaching also. And I also think that any kind of feedback is good feedback.
Right.
It may not always be what you want to hear, but there are always good takeaways. And I feel like afterwards I was able to sit down with my supervisor and talk to him about, like what things I thought went well, what things he thought went well, and what things we thought would go. And I think anytime you have room to reflect and you have someone who's willing to give you the feedback that you need and that you can take that feedback and grow from it, is a good thing. So.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that goal went over so well.
Yeah.
So let's pick another goal that you want to talk about.
I think that let's talk about eating healthy the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay. So tell me what went well with that.
I normally eat pretty well. My definition of healthy has changed too, so I don't know if somebody else who's listening to this would agree with it, but this is my version.
Okay.
I have tried where I cut sugar out for a long time, and I do it for a month or 2 months, and then the second I get a taste of it, can't get enough of it.
Right.
But being in the fitness industry has kind of opened my eyes too to how many scams or myths that there are about what eating healthy is. For me, I like to try and think of it as intuitive eating. So it's like, you're allowed to have a piece of cake. You're allowed to have it. But you have to think about, how do you feel when you eat it? Like, how does your body feel? If you have cake once on your birthday, you're going to be like, this is great. But if you're having cake every single day, you're probably going to be like, I feel slow, I feel heavy.
Yeah.
I probably would. I can't say you. I probably would that. But, so overall, I prepared all my meals this week. For the most part, I eat lean proteins, always eat whole grains, try and stick to low-fat milk and yogurt. Not low-fat everything else. That's not as good for you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And then I had pie last night, and I didn't feel bad about it because I ate healthy. The rest of the week, my version of healthy, I didn't have pie every day.
Right.
I didn't have candy every day. So overall, I'd say it was a success. I try and do that thing where when I grocery shop, I plan my meals, but I know I can't bring granola bars in because I'll have 3 granola bars in a day, and then there it goes. So I didn't do that. So I'd say overall it was a success, but every week I think is going to be, it's got to be a goal every week, because every week, like Thanksgiving week, I'm going to have all these new temptations of food being at home, and so eating healthy there. But for the most part, I don't feel guilty about what I ate, and so I'd say it was a success.
Okay, so you're still feeling really positive about what you ate, even though you had some sugars and whatnot. But hey, like you said, it's not always that bad for you.
Everything in moderation, yeah. And I think it's taken me a while to be able to categorize that, because if you'd asked me that 3 months ago, I would have said absolutely not because I
Might have
had
been
a piece of
different.
pie.
Yeah.
But I guess everyone's version of healthy is different. But in my world, yeah, I had a good week.
In your opinion.
And I had a good week.
Okay. So what would you say was the best experience with this goal then?
Because I want to go towards nutrition and sports, I normally feel really guilty when I eat like something bad for me. My roommates all joke about it. I was like, you guys, like my friend Amanda's asked me to go to Pie Night. They do a Village Inn for like
Oh
3 months,
yes.
and I was like, no. I'm like, Amanda's gonna be so excited to see me eat that pie, and my roommate's like, no, Amanda's gonna be happy when you get out of the car to stop talking about how guilty you feel about it. So I think the biggest success for me was being able to eat it and enjoy it without feeling guilty about it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, that sounds really good. That you're able to still eat a little bit unhealthy, but for the most part, still eat healthy, so you don't feel bad about it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really good.
I'm finding my balance.
And that's always great, having good balance and staying positive within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like I asked for the last question, what would you grade yourself on this goal of success?
I would grade myself a B. Solid B.
Okay.
Because I think that there are definitely still things I could have done. I didn't eat unhealthy all week, but were there times that I ate something that I didn't eat? Yeah, or like, especially after workout, it's hard because you have to eat, but like, when I only grocery shop for this week, because I'm going home, I don't buy as many groceries, so then I need to be thoughtful about what I'm eating
Okay.
in between those times to not take away from that workout. So I feel like, now that I have this mentality of moderation and that it's okay to eat foods that you like, food is supposed to be pleasurable, but also like to keep in mind what my goals are for fitness and everything. I'd say I'm doing average, but I think that there's room to grow.
Okay. Always room to grow. Always room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, changing gears a little bit. Let's talk about your 3 month goals. Now, are you still trying to fulfill these goals? Like, is that still in your immediate plan? These three right here.
Think, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think are your best learning or growth experiences? Trying to achieve these goals that are obviously going to take some time to achieve.
Well, just like you said, I think being patient with them is gonna be a huge thing. To lose 8 pounds, it's especially when it's not that my body needs to lose the weight, but it's because my fitness goals tell me, you go to the doctor and they say like, no, you're at the perfect weight for your height and whatever. But personally, I want to do that. So that's going to be hard for me. That's going to take some time. It's not the quick weight that comes off.
Okay.
As far as hang clean goes, I'm learning about this in my applied exercise phys class. Your neuromuscular process takes 6 to 8 weeks, and what that is just when you're doing a deadlift or something, your strength gains in those first 6 to 8 weeks come from your neuromuscular process. So your body, your brain is remembering how you do those movements. Especially with something as complex as a hang clean, it's going to take a long time because right now it feels uncomfortable. It's going to take a lot of practice and patience for me to be able to do that with proper form. Flexibility, not flexible at all. I can imagine it taking years, but yeah, so.
Okay, that's why it's 3 months. It's a process.
Exactly.
So you still feel, how committed do you feel to achieving these goals?
I still feel really committed, and I think it helps that I work and I'm interning, and then next semester I'm going to be doing a practicum in the fitness industry because luckily a lot of these goals are geared towards my own fitness goals. So helping other people reach their fitness goals is gonna motivate me because I'm the type of person that if I talk the talk, I want to be able to walk the walk.
Exactly.
And if I can talk and tell someone else they can lose 8 pounds, but they have to be patient and it's a process, I have to remember that too. I also have to remember that I'm not going to be able to drop into the splits in 1 week because I'm stretching. So.
Okay. Well, I feel like you got a good plan here set up. I feel like you're a very strong-minded person, and I feel like you'll be able to achieve these goals in no time, probably sooner than 3 months.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we're gonna change gears a little bit here. Since we have probably about 15 more minutes or so. Um, I'm gonna start by asking you, what would you say? What is important to you right now? Like, is there anything specific that has your attention? It could be anything.
um, I think that trying to figure out what I do after I graduate.
Do you
In
mind
a
if we talk
firm.
a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
talk more about that.
Um. Well, what is it that you really want? As in now, as far as what do you want to do after you graduate?
I think it's hard, and that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Part of me, I have options, which is a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to graduate school in due time.
Okay.
I am definitely going to take at least a semester off in between. I feel like I need to be able to sit down, research my schools, spend my time to study for the GRE, and because of my busy schedule, I don't have the time to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make an informed decision. So I'm going to take at least a semester off. But I'm constantly thinking about connections and, what can I do to gain the experience I have now because college is such a good opportunity. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be working with Coach Maxwell
Okay.
for some nutrition stuff for a bunch of the Iowa sports teams to hopefully get me that experience and then to kind of see where those connections take me. I have my mom who wants me to come back and live with her and my dad. Just save some money, which is a good option. I mean, free laundry and food, can't go
Exactly.
wrong. But part of me really wants to stay in Iowa, and I know that sounds funny, not for the long run, but for at least half a year. I feel like my opportunities continue to grow with my internships and practicums, and if I didn't take the practicum, I would have had a job at the rec center. So being able to continue to build those relationships in Iowa, to stay here, see a lot of my friends, boyfriend still goes here.
Mm-hmm.
That's also something I'm considering, but I think until next semester when my practicum kind of lets me know, like, hey, like, we still want you to work here or not. Hopefully they do. And then going home this break and kind of talking to the people at home, see what my options are there as far as working, because I want to be working in between
Right.
grad school. I want to be doing productive things.
Okay.
I think that'll determine a lot.
Okay. Wow. Well, it sounds like you really do have a lot of options available to you, and I feel like the more options, the better because it gives you a chance to decide what you really want to do after you graduate and you're kind of in that in between stage of just leaving college and finally entering the real world.
Yes.
Okay. So, is there anything or anybody you can like kind of depend on while you're in this transition stage in your life?
Yes and no. I feel like I could kind of depend on everyone. My mom and dad want what's best for me. My boyfriend wants what's best for me. My friends want what's best for me. But it's also hard because they all have differing ideas of what is best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I kind of need to evaluate who's a neutral person that I might be able to talk to. Because obviously, part of me wants to stay here for my boyfriend, part of me wants to go home for my family, part of me wants to stay here for my friends. But it's hard because if I talk to, my mom, she's going to be on the, well, come home and save money side. If I talk to my friends who want me to move to Chicago and live in an apartment with them, they're going to be like, no, like, you don't want to live at home. And then boyfriend's going to say, no, like, stay in Iowa City. And then all my friends in Iowa City are going to be like, no, stay, we'll have so much fun. So, I guess not, they're all dependable in their field, but I need to find a neutral source.
Wow. So that kind of sounds like it'll be tough because like you said, you have mom over here saying, "Come home, my daughter, come home to me." You have boyfriend over here, of course, wanting to stay so that you guys can be together, and then you still have your friends all the way over here that still want you to come with them. So it's got to be tough, trying to decide between the three.
Yeah, it's stressful, I guess, more than I realized that I don't really have that one person who's maybe a teacher. My teacher's always honest. They don't care what my parents or my boyfriend or my friends have to say. So they'll tell me the right career path at least. But then is the career path more important than personal life, or I don't know. It's up in the air.
Okay. Well, why don't we try to, come up with ideas, the pros and I guess the cons of, of going home, going, staying in Iowa or going to Chicago.
Maybe you'll be my neutral source.
Maybe, hey, that's what I'm here for. So let's start with staying here in Iowa. Like you said, you have your boyfriend here. Is there anything else that like would keep you here? Any chance?
I still have a lot of my best friends that would be here. That I love to see all the time. I have, like I said before, I'm already growing at the rec center and kind of becoming my own personality there and running my own classes and connecting with clients. And so I think that there's still a lot of opportunity for career path there. The people I nannied for was one of my professors, his children, and he's very connected, and I know he would love to offer me a job to be here. Another huge thing is Girls on the Run.
Okay.
That kind of has my heart as far as volunteering goes. If they have openings for a job, that would definitely be something I look into. Also, I just think, I've been with my girls and I've watched them go. I'm going to be going on my 5th season with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I now have, the younger sisters of some of the girls I originally coached. And I ran a half marathon and I raised, 4 scholarships. So I'm really invested in that. And they don't have that right near home. So I think leaving that behind would be tough.
Okay. So you would say a goal of, if you stayed home, would be to keep on working at the rec and keep on building those relationships with those girls on the run.
Yeah, if I stayed in Iowa City, definitely, and just to be able, I still have some of the best people I met here, so gotta stick around with them too, maybe.
So if you went home, what would be some goals that you would achieve there? Like what opportunities do you have there?
Financial stability. I'd be able to stay at my parents' house, stay in my room,
right.
hang out with my dogs. But I'd be able to save up for grad school as I and hopefully find another job. I don't mean to sound odd, but I have a pretty hefty resume, so I am not concerned about not being able to find work, regardless of where I am. Get to be close to my family, get to be back in Chicago. I have a lot of family in Chicago. I guess it's just hard too because I'm going from being so independent, and I've always been very independent, but I'd be going kind of back to where I'm comfortable, but I don't know how much room I have to grow professionally there. But then again, it's hard too because then there's this whole other side of, well, I have my friends in Oregon and California, my cousin in California, who want me to consider going out there, but they have some pretty high up connections. My best friend, one of my best friends, her dad was a Bulls trainer. Now he's the head of athletics at Oregon State, I want to say. And they have a good nutrition program, so I know if I was going into sport nutrition, that's an option I have too. So I feel like it's hard because part of this is about comfort and who I'm surrounding myself with. But I don't necessarily think I would have limited opportunity any place that I went. I like to believe that anyways.
Well, I believe that too. I feel like no matter where you end up, either way, you're still going to be set off right because you have, these goals in check and it seems like you really know what you want to do with yourself.
I hope so. I won't let myself sit on my butt. So.
Okay. So, we just came up with those goals that you had, as in if you stayed here or if you went home. So we're gonna design a SMART goal for to achieve these goals that you want to achieve. So which one would you want to start with? Which one of these goals do you think is important to you?
This is a tricky one. Well, I'd like to think that my family, my boyfriends, and my best friend will be there no matter what.
Okay.
Maybe a goal would be to figure out financial stability because if I'm in Iowa City, I could be working at the rec, I could be holding a couple jobs, and that's one way to be financially stable.
Mhm.
If I was at home, I could also save money by living there and finding other work. So,
All right. So financial stability. All right. So sorry, let me write that down real quick. All right. So are you familiar with what a SMART goal is?
specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely.
Okay.
Did I nail
Exactly.
it?
Yeah. Exactly. Perfect. So when you say financially stable, is that getting a job or getting enough money to be financially stable in your eyes?
I'd say let's start with getting a job.
Okay. So let's say we could apply for an actual job at the rec because you say that you're interning there right
Yeah.
now. Okay. So so the goal would be apply to the rec. That's specific. Let's see, measurable. Obviously, you just turn in your resume, have your interview, so that's easy to measure. Do you believe that it's attainable?
Yes.
Okay, exactly. Good answer. You said you got the resume to back it up.
I also think with the measurable too, I could put it, yeah, it's measurable.
Okay. Realistic, obviously, because you pretty much already work there now as it is. And time. When do you see yourself applying for this job?
I would say probably sometime around spring break because by then I'll have had the opportunity to create and put through an incentive program. I'll also have had the opportunity to teach my class and make sure that I am a suitable instructor. Um, and by then, hopefully, they'll have worked with me for over half a year, and they'll know if they want to keep me on board or not. And I feel like by then, I can realistically start talking to them about can I start working here over the summer? Can I start working here as soon as my practicum's done? Will you have sponsor me, or should I be looking somewhere else?
Okay, sounds good. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being definitely no problem, no doubts about it. 1 being I really don't think this is possible. How possibly do you think it is to achieve this goal?
Don't want to fire myself up too much or anything, but I would say probably an 8 or 9.
8
I
or
think
9? Wow.
right now, I've built a really good relationship with my supervisors, with the other people around me. When I accepted the practicum, my supervisor boss sent me an email saying, I'm so excited that you've accepted. You've put a lot of time and effort into this, and so I think that while I completely value the opportunity to grow and learn and all that they've given me, I think that they also realize that when I am passionate about something, I will put my whole heart into it, that I'm reliable,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm committed to it. So hopefully that is what continues to happen. And with that in mind, I see no reason why they wouldn't keep me around.
Okay. So, is there anything or anybody that can help you achieve this goal? It could be people from home, people working at the reg. Anyone. Is there anybody you see?
I absolutely think that if, like I said, if I continued on this path of my supervisors that I am now, um, they would. I mean, they have the control over who they hire,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that they would be a huge help and beyond to go to grad schools or anything. They're well connected people, and I think that they would definitely be a huge asset. Our graduate assistant kind of helps out a lot with us. I actually shadow him
Mm-hmm.
because he's the TRX instructor, and I think that he's seen my commitment. We came back from a conference, and my friend and co-intern Ryan and I decided to take initiative, give a presentation on what we learned, start this incentive program. So I think that my connections within the rec will help me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I have professors that will help me. I
Okay.
think that the whole family, the whole fitness family.
Okay. Sounds good. So can you go ahead and restate that SMART goal that we just came up with back to me, just so
Okay.
I know that you have it?
I'm going to apply to work at the rec
Okay.
by spring break.
Okay.
And in doing so, I'm going to provide them with my resume, talk to my supervisors, continue to do well in my practicum. I think it's realistic that I would be presented with the opportunity to work there if I continue down that. And based on going from an internship to a practicum, I think it's attainable to be hired on as full time staff.
Okay. Well, like I said before, you obviously know what you want to do with your life. I feel like that's definitely a possible goal for you to that would be easy for you to achieve. All right, so we have a few more minutes left. So, but we need to come up with one more goal. So let's try to speed through this one kind of quickly. Um, so is there any other goals that you would want to talk about that we came up with from before?
I would say short term goals of being hired is to get my personal training certificate.
Okay. So so how can we create a SMART goal about that?
Well, time wise, it needs to be by December.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say that I'm going to review all of like one chapter out of my materials each night to get a good grasp on that for the next month. A lot of the stuff I've already learned in my applied exercise phys classes and all the other classes I've taken. So it's kind of just going to reinforce it. So I think it's realistic that I have that timeline for it.
Okay.
But I would say reviewing my book every day, planning it out so that I can make sure that I fit it all in within that time period. Practicing with my clients, continuing my internship, and then taking the test in December.
Okay. So going back to the whole scale of 1 to 10 thing, how confident do you feel about achieving this goal?
I feel 7. I think if I really spend my time wisely over the next couple weeks with finals week and over break, I definitely think that as long as I continue to practice what I know and then add the knowledge that I gain from the books to what I know, I'd say it's pretty realistic.
All right. So again, who can you see yourself, helping you make sure that you achieve this goal?
My mom and my sister, we all love to work out together, and they said be my practice dummies for personal training. Again, those clients I talked about earlier in the interview. Also, my supervisor is very open, and my co-interns, everyone is very open to helping each other. Obviously, my people at the rec want me to do well since I'm working for and representing them, as well as my trainers at home. So I think I have a lot of good diverse outlets.
Okay. So like we did with the last goal, can you restate it for me again?
Okay. I am going to get my personal training certificate by December.
Okay.
By studying my materials, using my resources, being my supervisor when I have questions, or practicing on clients to make sure that I'm communicating correctly. And also by reviewing one chapter each night. So I'm ready to take the test in December.
Well, you sound really committed to, getting that certificate, so I'm sure that you'll have no problem with achieving it. All right, so as we bring this session to a close, I'm really thankful for how responsive you were to all my questions. You definitely talked a lot more than my last client, which makes my job a lot easier. Is there anything specifically that you learned through this whole session?
Yeah, I think that I need to keep talking to you so that I can have a neutral party in figuring out my future, because there's a lot up in the air, and if I can kind of start working towards a direction with a neutral source like yourself, I think I will be able to figure it out without so much bias.
Okay. So, well, I'm glad that I was able to help. Is there anything that, you can give me feedback on, anything that I could do to, make this experience better for you?
Maybe if you had a sheet that I could write down the big SMART word and then write them down, that would be helpful. But you have some paper here, so I'll just write them down quick.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll remember that for my next session then. Speaking of, so does next week, same time, same place work for you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's good to hear. Well, thank you, Danielle. I'll see you then. Ah!